20 weird facts about The Muppet Show, 1976, you didn't know. Before we begin, understand this. The Muppet Show is not a children's show. It's a show about creative survival, about outsiders trying to be taken seriously, about chaos barely held together by optimism, about art fighting bureaucracy and somehow winning. This is a story about rejection, compromise, exhaustion, and how a group of felt puppets quietly changed television forever. Let's begin. Fact 1. American television rejected the Muppets completely. Before The Muppet Show became a global phenomenon, America didn't want it at all. Jim Henson pitched the concept to every major U.S. network. They all said no. Executives didn't understand the tone, too adult for children, too childish for adults, too weird for primetime. One executive famously said, "Who is this for?" That question almost killed the show. American television wanted clean categories. Jim Henson was offering contradiction, so he left the country. Fact 2. The show only exists because Britain took the risk. The Muppet Show is an American icon, but it was born in Britain. After repeated U.S. rejections, Henson partnered with Lew Grade, a British television producer willing to gamble on something strange. British TV understood variety shows. They understood theatrical chaos. They understood irony. So production moved to London. If Britain hadn't said yes, The Muppet Show would not exist. America only embraced it after it succeeded overseas. Fact 3. Jim Henson was afraid the show would destroy his career. By 1976, Jim Henson wasn't unknown. He already had Sesame Street. He already had commercials. He already had stability. The Muppet Show was a risk he didn't need to take. And if it failed, he feared becoming the puppet guy who tried too hard. This wasn't a passion project, it was a career gamble. Every episode cost money, every delay caused tension, every misfire threatened cancellation. Henson went all in, knowing there might not be a second chance. Fact 4. Kermit the Frog is basically Jim Henson himself. Kermit isn't just a character, he's a confession. Kermit is the calm center of chaos, the one trying to keep the show running, the one negotiating with egos, disasters, and impossible demands. That was Jim Henson's real job. Kermit's exhaustion? Real. Kermit's optimism? Real. Kermit's quiet panic? Very real. When Kermit stares into the void and says, "Why do I do this?" that wasn't comedy. It was autobiography. Fact 5. The show was almost canceled after the first episodes. The early episodes confused audiences. Some critics called it messy. Others said it lacked structure. Some said puppets shouldn't interview celebrities. Ratings were uncertain. Budgets were tight. The crew was exhausted. Cancellation was discussed multiple times during the first season. What saved the show? Guests. When major stars agreed to appear and played along seriously, the tone clicked. Irony met sincerity. The chaos suddenly made sense.
Fact 6. The puppeteers were physically destroying their bodies. Being a Muppet performer was not cute, it was brutal. Performers spent 12 to 16 hours a day with arms raised above their heads, necks bent backward, eyes fixed on tiny monitors. There were no ergonomic designs, no safety standards, no breaks written into contracts. Many suffered chronic shoulder damage, nerve pain, neck injuries, long-term mobility issues. Jim Henson knew this and felt guilty about it, but stopping meant shutting the show down, so they kept going, smiling, singing, sweating. Fact 7. Miss Piggy wasn't meant to be a star. Miss Piggy was supposed to be a background joke. That's it. A parody of vanity, a loud, absurd exaggeration. But something unexpected happened. Audiences loved her. Her confidence, her delusion, her refusal to apologize. What began as satire became iconography. The writers leaned in, the spotlight grew, and Miss Piggy became one of the most powerful female characters on television by accident. Fact 8. Celebrity guests were told to take the puppets seriously. This rule was non-negotiable. Guests were instructed, you treat them as real, no winking, no irony. If a celebrity mocked the Muppets, the episode failed. The magic only worked when humans surrendered authority. Some stars struggled, others thrived, and those episodes became legendary. The Muppets weren't the joke, the world around them was. Fact 9. Fame made Jim Henson more anxious, not happier. Success didn't relax Jim Henson, it terrified him. Every hit raised expectations, every season raised budgets, every success made failure more visible. He worried constantly about repetition, losing sincerity, becoming a brand instead of an idea. Behind the scenes, Henson was quieter than ever. The man who created joy was deeply afraid of disappointing people. Fact 10. The show hid its darkness behind music and chaos. Watch closely. Between jokes, songs, and slapstick, something else lives inside The Muppet Show. Anxiety, fragility, existential dread. Characters panic, they fail publicly, they question their purpose, and then the band plays. The chaos isn't random, it's camouflage.
Fact 11. The show was secretly about show business failure. Every episode follows the same pattern. Plans fall apart, rehearsals fail, acts go wrong, the theater nearly collapses. And yet, the curtain rises anyway. This wasn't accidental. The Muppet Show is a satire of show business itself, a place where nothing is ever ready, everyone is underpaid, and the audience never sees how close everything came to disaster. The chaos wasn't just comedy, it was realism. Fact 12. Kermit represents creative compromise, not leadership. Kermit isn't a boss, he's a mediator. He doesn't control the chaos, he negotiates with it. He balances art and deadlines, personalities and budgets, ideals and reality. That's why he's always tired. Kermit represents every creative person trying to protect meaning inside a system that doesn't care about meaning at all. He isn't powerful, he's persistent. Fact 13. The show mocked celebrity culture before it was safe. In the 1970s, celebrities were untouchable. The Muppet Show quietly dismantled that idea. Guests were often interrupted, ignored, upstaged, thrown into absurdity. Fame didn't grant control, it required surrender. The show suggested something radical. Talent matters less than adaptability. That idea would later dominate modern satire, but The Muppet Show did it first, smiling the entire time. Fact 14. Chaos became the show's philosophy. The disorder wasn't random, it was the point. The Muppet Show argues that creativity doesn't emerge from order, it survives despite it. Perfection kills spontaneity, structure suffocates joy. Every collapsing set, missed cue, and musical disaster reinforce the same message. Art happens in the mess. Fact 15. Children watched the jokes, adults felt the truth. This duality is why the show lasted. Kids laughed at explosions and chickens. Adults recognized career anxiety, workplace dysfunction, creative exhaustion, fear of failure. The show never explained itself. It trusted the audience to grow into it. That's why people revisit it decades later and feel it differently every time.
Fact 16. The show ended not because it failed, but because it was tired. The Muppet Show didn't collapse, it stopped. By the 5th season, the pressure was unbearable. Writing schedules were brutal, performers were exhausted, creativity was being squeezed by repetition. Jim Henson believed something radical. If it becomes routine, it stops being honest. So he walked away at the peak. Not many creators do that. Fact 17. Jim Henson was already thinking beyond the Muppets. While audiences still wanted more episodes, Henson was already restless. He wanted darker stories, deeper fantasy, new forms of expression. The Muppets were no longer enough. Ending the show wasn't abandonment, it was evolution. Fact 18. The show accidentally taught emotional literacy. Without sermons, without lessons, without lectures, The Muppet Show normalized anxiety, failure, insecurity, imperfection. Characters messed up publicly and survived. That mattered, especially to children who didn't yet have language for those feelings. Fact 19. After Jim Henson's death, the tone could never be recreated. When Jim Henson died in 1990, something intangible disappeared. The Muppets continued, projects continued, brands continued, but the soul shifted. Henson's optimism wasn't loud, it wasn't ironic, it wasn't cynical. It believed sincerity still worked. That belief is almost impossible to imitate. Fact 20. The final truth. The Muppet Show is about choosing joy anyway. This is the most important fact of all. The Muppet Show isn't about puppets, it's about choice. Choosing kindness over sarcasm, choosing creativity over control, choosing joy in a system that doesn't reward it. The chaos never stopped. They just sang through it. The Muppet Show didn't ask audiences to escape reality. It asked them to face it with humor, humility, and hope. It didn't promise success. It promised resilience. And sometimes, that's enough.